And now the public's on to them. Now you see major polls, whereas about half the public was for gun control a decade ago. Now 70+% are against it. So they know they're losing the fight. So they're trying to come in and brainwash the public. Now, look at how scared Joseph Biden is and how he's taken back and freaked out by a slave with a rifle. And he says the guy's mentally ill and he's a CNN correspondent for YouTube. The guy's mentally ill and that he needs to have his gun confiscated. Here it is.
Attacking poverty, bringing people together, dealing with those kids in the ghettos that are heavy users of gun violence and are victims of gun violence, to make sure that this country attacks the core problems of poverty, having child care, bringing parents together.
Senator Biden, are you going to be able to keep his babies safe?
I'll tell you what, if that's his baby, he needs help. I think he just made an admission against self-interest. I don't know that he's mentally qualified to own that gun. No, I'm being serious. Look, this idea we go around talking about people who own. I'm the guy that originally wrote the assault weapons ban that became law, and then we got defeated. Then Dianne Feinstein went to town on it and did a great job. Look, we should be working with law enforcement right now to make sure that we protect people against people who are not capable of knowing what to do with a gun because they're either mentally imbalanced and or because they have a criminal record. And anyway.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Back it up. I mean, look at how threatened he is. I mean, he is so upset. And the White House has these questionnaires now for anybody working anywhere in the executive branch, even out to the White House. Do you own a firearm? Do you believe the Second Amendment? And if they say yes, they're not being hired. It's okay to have the Secret Service guarding them with guns. It's okay for Biden to want to use the U.S. Army on the streets of America, and the Army openly admits that they're going to be waging war on the American people. They say we're preparing to engage the public. See, they trained you to accept this police state in the name of fighting Al-Qaeda, and then now they're baiting and switching, going, there's blonde-haired blue Al-Qaeda everywhere. There's gun owners. There's militias. We've got to take their guns. And then we have Barack Obama's real gun record. And we're going to go over some of that now. Let's analyze this, a little clip of this ABC News piece dealing with the record gun sales. And this is a month old. The gun sales are only accelerating now. And Obama's now coming out and saying, well, I'm for the Second Amendment under Chicago and D.C. laws, which means total ban. He says we have a right to reasonably restrict them, which means totally ban them. Because this is a criminal. This is a thug. He works for the elite, and his job is to disarm the slaves. Just like blacks couldn't own guns 150 years ago in this nation. First gun laws. Just like Native Americans. I mean, if Senator Biden was some army general out in South Dakota riding down and killing Native Americans, they'd get freaked out. We got Indians with guns. We got free people with guns. They could defend themselves. They don't want to go to the reservations. They don't want to be disarmed. They don't want to be domesticated. They don't want to be given poison blankets. They don't want their inoculations. That's the modern system. So, oh my gosh, a black with a gun, a Native American with a gun. It's the same thing, but we're all slaves now. So let's go ahead and go to this clip.
For the election, Colorado had to deal with 1,500 applications from new gun owners in a single day. That's a record. Glenn Parshall runs a gun store in Las Vegas. He says his customers aren't willing.
Hit pause. See, and that's what it is. I've had these cowardly gun dealers for years. When I walk in an Austin gun shop, no matter what gun shop it is, they'll say, Alex, I'm tired of you on the radios. I heard you, number one, saying that Bush was for the assault weapons ban when he wasn't. And then there's always one clerk who goes, no, Bob, he was for it. Because they're in denial. And the next they'll say, well, I hear you say it's gun registration to fill out the NICS. That scares off customers. Then they go buy them from private sellers. And I'm like, well, if you got together as gun owners, instead of having the Judas Goat NRA pose like they're your savior, but then always sell you out, you could get together as gun dealers and repeal these unconstitutional laws. It is a registration. They internally call the NICS system that. Now they want to put misdemeanors on it. And they know long rifle, shotgun, or handgun. They know what you've got, where you live, where you're at. It is an application. It's turning a right into a privilege. And I have people in Texas come up to me who've lived there all their lives and go, Alex, how do I get a gun? How do I get a license to own one? See, they give you a concealed carry, and then people think you have to have a license to have a gun, period. That's how it started in New York. There's no license. We need Vermont style, where they say it's the Second Amendment. But see, under Anglo-Saxon common law in Texas and everywhere else, you can have a shotgun, you can walk around with a handgun on your side, but the police will violate common law and swarm you, taser you, attack you. People try to take their rifle out, put it in their back seat of their car to go deer hunting. Cops show up because the neighbor sees a gun. They're watching sitcoms, they're watching the news, they're being conditioned that guns are illegal when they're not. And police will even ask you in Texas, you got a permit for that? There is no permit. A permit is a license to do something that would be illegal. It's a permission. Now, under the common law, in states that still follow it, I can carry a rifle publicly or a handgun. You understand? This is all lawyer tricks. But under common law, you cannot carry concealed weapons. So they come out with state laws to carry a concealed weapon. Under common law, you do need a license because that's illegal. You bear your arms openly as a freeman. That way it's an armed culture. Everybody accepts it. But see, first they make us treat it like it's pornography or something we put in a black bag. We hide it. We're ashamed of it. See, now the moral authority's against it. And they trick you into going and getting a concealed carry when it turns a right into a privilege. Instead of just demanding your right to carry a firearm. See how they play these legalese tricks? So, but notice this guy also says, yeah, maybe it's Obama people coming in and buying guns. Yeah, I've talked to a lot of gun dealers saying that that's happening even here in Texas. And this is happening because they all got on the hype bandwagon, and now they found out he really is for gun bans. And so they're even panicking. See, that's all part of the hype. It didn't matter. McCain was anti-gun too. Don't think I'm for McCain here. They're both controlled. The point is, we're in trouble. Let's go back to the clip.
To gamble their guns on Obama, even if they voted for him.
One of the strangest things that I've had happen the past few weeks was I've had a lot of people coming in here wearing Obama buttons and Obama t-shirts in here to buy guns. They tell me they're in here to buy them before he bans them. What's that telling you about it?
The run on guns comes despite the president-elect's assurances he will protect the right to bear arms.
The NRA has a different position.
All right, stop right there. Notice he says the NRA. It's never about the Second Amendment. It's never about the people. You know, every time they're having warrantless wiretaps, they say the ACLU doesn't like it. And that's a politicized organization that a lot of people don't like for other stances. See, they're minimizing you down to a subgroup. The NRA was founded after the feds won the Civil War to arm paramilitary groups in the North to come in and carpetbag in the South. That's a fact. The NRA was founded as a gun control group. I've had Larry Pratt on to read those documents. They are the ones that got the Gun Control Act passed in 1933. They are the ones that lobbied for the 1968 Gun Control Act. You walk in one of these ignorant gun shop places and you tell them that, get out of here, commie. Hey, you think they could have got our guns and passed any gun control laws if the globalists didn't control our major group? The NRA is controlled. Does that mean their whole board's controlled? No. They get a good board member occasionally, and they'll always run them out. You understand? You understand? Now, we've got clip after clip of Obama saying, well, if it's reasonable. But again, he calls reasonable total gun ban. Let's go back to the just tyrant. I mean, he wants to disarm you. 100% of the time in history, that means they want to abuse you and dominate you and slave you. I mean, they know why they're doing it. Nothing to do with the little kiddies and keeping them safe. Here it is.